Hey, who feels like setting a record today for the most comments we've ever gotten on a video? I believe we can do it. Type LAL in the comments, and whoever types LAL the most in the comments, I'm giving you a shout out on the next show. We got a lot of Lakers injury news to get into, so we'll do it next on the Lakers Report. Hey, thanks for dialing up another Lakers report. Fired up to be with you as always, and lots to discuss today, including the latest Lakers injury news. Now, more of an update on the various players that are out of the lineup, timetables to return. We'll have a Jarred Vanderbilt update for you because that's a player that I think this Lakers team could benefit greatly from getting back. And of course, the latest on Gabe Vincent and Christian Wood as well. And when you think about the Lakers injury news and updates, there's a lot going on, and it's always important to be tapped in, dialed in at all levels because the injury report we're going to start with might not be a familiar name, but also kind of an important name and not depending on how you want to slice it. Mike Trudell, the Lakers reporter, team reporter, mentioning that Colin Castleton, now, again, not a big name, but he did play 7 games with the Lakers and had been dominating in the G League with the South Bay Lakers. And just the point is, this was a guy that might have an opportunity to show what he could do with the big league club. But unfortunately, as Mike Trudell is reporting, an update, Lakers two-way center Colin Castleton has a right wrist fracture and will be out for at least 2 weeks before he's reevaluated. And Trudell goes on to talk about exactly that, the tough timing for the CC and the Lakers, who would have used the big man, especially in the absence of Christian Wood. So Colin Castleton, not a big name, but the former Florida Gator product was playing really well in the G League, and then again got an opportunity with the big league club and was on that two-way contract. And you look at his numbers from his time in the G League, watch a couple of highlights of this guy, and you'll see that maybe he could have competed with Hayes for that backup role at the center position, especially in the absence of Christian Wood. So bummer with that. The South Bay Lakers, 16.4 points, 10.6 rebounds, and 3.2 assists. So better than a double-double a game for Colin Castleton in the G League. And again, 7-game sample size with the big league club. So not a ton to go off of, but a guy that is not going to get an opportunity now with that wrist fracture, but will be reevaluated again in 2 weeks. Now, an update on Jarred Vanderbilt, who we know has that mid-foot sprain that has kind of been a peculiar injury because the timetable for return isn't exactly a given. It isn't exactly a set-in-stone ordeal. There's some fear that it could kind of prolong and linger into a season-ending injury. Now, that hasn't been announced yet, but he's going to be reevaluated in the coming weeks. And the fear is that it could be season-ending, but there's also somewhat of a hope and optimism that, again, it's just that mid-foot sprain, but difficult to kind of quantify what that return looks like for Jarred Vanderbilt. But we know the Lakers could certainly use some reinforcements, especially from the role players that are out, because there are several of them, which is why I'm asking, you got to be honest with me, what's your level of concern around the Lakers' injuries? Because we got Colin Castleton, we've got Jarred Vanderbilt, we got Christian Wood that we'll get to in a minute, we've got Gabe Vincent, and this is a team that's been decimated by injuries, and I'm curious what your concern is around the Los Angeles Lakers and the injury problem that is prolonged into the second half of the season after the All-Star break, because there's no way to slice it. The injuries are adding up, and it's beginning to become a part of the conversation. And I don't think Darvin Ham, I don't think LeBron James, Anthony Davis, the list goes on. Anybody would blame the Lakers' shortcomings on the injuries, but it is a part of the equation. You look at a guy like Jarred Vanderbilt, and yes, the stat sheet isn't necessarily stuffed in every single category, but this is a guy that provides an edge, is a great defensive player, and anytime you have a significant piece missing from the puzzle, it's going to be a big deal. And I think Jarred Vanderbilt's presence is certainly missed on the floor for the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, coming up, we got a few more injury news and notes to get into, a couple more updates to get into. But first, I got to tell you about today's proud presenting sponsor, making the Lakers Report possible, America's #1 meal delivery service, Factor. Absolutely the best meal delivery service. And when you're talking meal delivery services, this is the only one, because listen up. Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals make eating better every day so easy, because the meals are delicious, they're good for you. So wherever tomorrow takes you, be ready with pre-prepared, chef-crafted, and dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. And you'll have over, count them, 35 different options a week to choose from. And that includes options like keto, calorie smart, vegan, veggie, and oh so much more. Here's a little pro tip for you. The smoothies are delicious. Also love the sun-dried tomato chicken and the tomato basil chicken. Also delicious. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. The best part, only takes 2 minutes to heat up. Clean up simple, so forget meal prepping, forget the long trips to the grocery store. It's all about convenience, and I'm telling you, you feel great because the food is high quality, fresh, never frozen, exactly what you're looking for here in 2024. So don't take my word for it. Head to factormeals.com/LakersChat50 and use code LakersChat50 to get to 50% off. Oh my goodness, 50% off. It can't be. It is. I'm telling you, this is for real, guys. That's code LakersChat50 at factormeals.com/LakersChat50 to get 50% off. And oh yeah, we love you and we care about you. So we'll put that link right in the comments and description of today's video. Factormeals.com/LakersChat50 and use code LakersChat50 for 50% off. Now, Christian Wood and Gabe Vincent are also two important pieces to the puzzle for Darvin Ham, the Los Angeles Lakers. And there's a little bit more hope and optimism that they'll both be able to return in the coming weeks. So let's start with Christian Wood. He had that effusion in his left knee, and it's going to be reevaluated in approximately 2 weeks. But there's a growing belief that it's not going to be something that lingers on. And say what you will about Christian Wood, and I know I've been pretty critical of Christian Wood on this channel, and I will continue to be, because I think sometimes he's intentionally divisive. But at this point in the season, the Lakers need contributions from everybody on that roster, and that includes Christian Wood. So with him being out and injured, obviously unable to help the Lakers. So hopefully, for the betterment of the organization, he'll be back sooner rather than later. Now, for Gabe Vincent, we know he underwent surgery on his left knee back in December, and it's going to be reevaluated after the All-Star break. So obviously, with that being now, you would expect that reevaluation and the announcement coming on where exactly he is. But that timetable still remains that early to mid-March. So in the coming weeks, you got to believe Gabe Vincent is going to be back and ready to help that Los Angeles Lakers team be at their best. Here's a little more from Jake Fisher on Gabe Vincent and the fact of where he's at. Underwent arthroscopic surgery on his left knee during the final days of December, given an 8 to 10 week recovery period, and has so far been recuperating on schedule. So good news there. When you think about the most important Laker to return, we've got 4 different options that we've talked about. Let me know what you think. Colin Castleton, the big center, Florida Gator product that was playing in the G League, played 7 games for the Lakers. Christian Wood, also a center, 4-5 type of player in the front court. Jarred Vanderbilt, the defensive stopper, or Gabe Vincent, who is the most important player to return? Let me know what you think down in the comments. If it's Colin Castleton, type CC, Christian Wood, type CW, Jarred Vanderbilt, JW, or Gabe Vincent, type GB. I'm of the belief that all 4 of these players are important, and hopefully they'll all have a chance to come back at some point. But Jarred Vanderbilt just provides an additional edge, an additional element of toughness, of cohesiveness that brings the Lakers to a better point than they are without him. And I think the fact that this Lakers team at times has really missed him I think him being back in the lineup would provide a boost for Darvin Ham and company. And, to be honest with you, I think that Jarred Vanderbilt, when he comes back, you'll notice a pep in the step for this Lakers team. Hopefully, that's my hope. That's my desire for this Lakers team as they try to put together a run down the stretch. So we challenged you guys at the beginning of this show to set a record on the Lakers report for the most comments. Can we do it? Type LAL in the comments. If you're a real one, if you care about the Lakers, you'll type LAL, and there's no limit. Let's see who can do the most. Type the most LALs in the comments. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, subscribe to the channel. We bring you daily Lakers coverage and content from every single angle as the Lakers try to continue to fight their way into a better playoff spot and avoid one of those play-in games at worst. Big shout out to Colin Brown producing today's Lakers report, helping us bring you all the action around the Laker Nation. And as always, thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the Lakers Report.